Good day, guys. Welcome to today's class. I'm Mr. T. Today, we're going to be solving a particular question for us. And the question is what it is when you see the question. But then, all questions cannot be solved without having a clear understanding of what the question is all about. That is why most times you need to learn as many topics as you can, because the more you learn the topics, the more you get acquainted and used to it. Let's look at what we have on the board. We are told to find the differential coefficient of the following function using general rule. Now, when you see the word general rule as it states here, the one thing that should come to your mind, of course, is differentiation. Now, the question now is, how do we differentiate these particular questions before us? Now, let's add our ideas together and see how we can unravel this question. The first number one question here, 3s raised to the power of 3. How do we do this? Solution. We first want to introduce our dy over dx. Since we are using general rule, we have to bring out the rules first before solving, which is what? Our n, s raised to the power n minus 1. This is the formula in using to solve general rule. Now, what does this mean? From what we have here now, let's bring out our question first, which is what? 3x raised to the power of 3. Now, if this is 3x raised to the power of 3, you will agree with me that this n here stands to be the number that we have here. Now, the first thing that you should do first is identifying the n. And the n, where n equal to what? 3. Because that is what we have as our power. And that is what is representing this n here. So where this n is, whatever you have as your number, wherever I see n in your formula, the 3 will replace it. So in that regard, we'll now say the 3 that we have here, this is our question. Our n is what? 3 minus 1, based on the formula. From this regard, what do? We multiply this. We now say dy over dx equals to 3 times 3 will give us what? 9. 9 times s will give us what? 9s raised to the power of what? 2. We are done with this. You apply the formula gradually. Before you know, you are done. This is already differentiated based on the general rule. Now let's go to the second one, number 2 question. Now, let's introduce our formula as well. You have our dx equals to n x n minus 1, our formula. Now, if you look at this particular question, it's not like this one that is just more like a single number. This is a combination of different numbers. Let's bring them out. Go ahead and say what? We'll now differentiate them one by one. We have 2 here. Since we have 2 here, the same method that we applied here, we're going to apply the same thing also. So these 2 goes to the front, which you're going to have then we have this as what? N minus 7x. Now this is just a one figure here. So it's going to be what? 1 minus 1 minus just 4. And when you have 4, it's as same as saying you have 0. So the rules here state if you have a single 4, a single number, it's as same as saying you have 0. We can actually, our single 1, let's bring it to the front. I think we have it. Let's rewrite this again. Since we have 1 here, we're going to say minus 1, followed by 7x, minus 0. I think we can rewrite that as this. So we have 1 minus 1, like this, for clearer understanding. Ideally, you want to remove the 1, because if you multiply 1 times 7, it will give you the same 7. But I just choose to put it for more clearer understanding. For this spot here, what do we have? dy over dx. If you multiply this, what do we have? 6x. Now we have raised to the power of 1. 6 raised to the power of 1 is something as 6x minus 7 times 1 will give us 7. Now we have x here. We have 7 here. If you look at this now, 1 minus 1 will give us 0. And 0 raised to the power of x is the same thing as what? 1. I mean, if you have 0 here, for example, 1 minus 1, we have 0. X raised to the power of 0 will give us 1. 1 times 7 will give us 7. Nothing else is left there. In this case here, in this regard here, we have 0. So nothing else is left to do. As it stands like this, we are done. It's as easy as that. It's not so difficult. All you need to do is understand how the steps are being taken. Once you can get this, how the steps are being taken, you will find it difficult to miss out. You will find it easy to know where you make mistake if you can actually follow out the steps. The general rules are stated here by the formula. Once you know how to apply the general rules, placing the numbers at the right spot, you won't have issue at all. If you find this video very interesting, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. I see you very humble self, Mr. T. I'll see you guys in the next video.